Okay, so we're now live with Mascis, Insidious, and our tournament winner for GFC Euros, ptranxp. Is that how I say your name?
Yeah, you can say that.
How would you say it?
It's ptranxp.
I was right.
Well, you were, yeah, absolutely. So you've just won. How do you feel about winning and getting a Worlds invite? Although I think you already had a Worlds invite, didn't you?
Yeah, it was good. Drew a lot of good cards today. Yeah, can't really say much.
Yeah, you did a lot of you beat a lot of good players as well, and not only that, you destroyed a lot of people. Am I correct in thinking that in the last GFC, which or maybe it was the one before, where you dropped out, had you also gone undefeated before you dropped out, or am I misremembering that?
Well, I think I lost like round 2, then I won like 7 straight.
Yeah, I beat him round 2. Not to brag or anything.
Yeah, I think I lost like round 2 or something, and won like 7 straight. Then I couldn't just play day 2. Yeah, it's been a good run.
And how did you find the hours, the time of day? Was this better for you, or do you prefer the American?
I prefer the American one. This one was actually like pretty early. Like,
yeah,
I was pretty tired this morning.
I probably could have told that by your accent. Actually, probably didn't need to ask that question. But regardless,
yeah, I probably got like 6 hours of sleep. Like, this was a lot earlier. Like the other one is usually like at 11 or 12, right? I believe.
For you, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And this one was a bit different.
Yeah, this was 11 and 12 for me. So and the other Europeans. Good turnout, all the same.
Yeah, honestly, I felt like today was a lot faster. I don't know if like the Europeans play like faster, but like I think the tournament went by a lot quicker than like the American time.
I think there's a combination of a lot of dropouts, people playing a lot faster. There was this. It felt like there were less disputes this time round as well, but there was also fewer players. I think this is the kind of entrant level that I'm comfortable with, and well, I quite like. And I think it is nice to do the event all in one day rather than having it broken up. Because
no, sorry, you go on.
No, I was just gonna say, because like like yourself, you couldn't play the next day sort of thing, and it would have been the same for Jinzo. I actually put originally in the announcement that it would be split up, but I'm glad now that I made the decision because everyone could play.
Oh, I agree. Like it was actually good that I finished in one day. I remember the one before it. Yeah, I think I had to wait like until the next day, or I had to wait like 4 or 5 hours just to wait till everybody like finished. Like, this one went by pretty quick. So like it was good.
Yeah, I think 52 players is just the right cutoff point to have a long enough tournament, but also keep it one day.
Yeah, very good. Like keeping it one day is very good. Like I hate dragging it out until like the next day. I guess that's what it is. Like
you might lose momentum if you're running hot. If like tomorrow, like today, you're having a good day, and then tomorrow you could just be like terrible.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for that, for sure. I think a lot of people appreciated it being one day as well. So we might make efforts to make it one day in the future, but it's very difficult to ensure because there's a lot of people who slow play, or sorry, not a lot of people, but the minority can still slow down the tournament, especially in losers bracket.
Yeah.
Shall we move on to your deck? Because I've got it up on screen right now, and there's two things I wanted to highlight. And that is, first of all, you've done something that I am always hesitant to do, but I'm glad you did it and succeeded with it, and that's 3 Magician of Faith rather than the standard 2 and then maybe a Merchant. Why did you go for 3 Magician of Faith?
I think whoever just like I think this format is just whoever resolves like the Trinity cards the fastest and like the most. You just have like an edge over like your opponent. So like I just want to max out like the best cards in the game. Where I think like are spells too. So you just want to capitalize on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you ever not find that you get noblemen and it kind of ruins your plan, or do you manage to play around it for the most part?
Yeah, honestly, like a lot of people do try to play around because if people play 2, they do want to avoid it. But like if you play 3, like you're okay with getting like knocked. it thins out your deck. And even then, like you want to have it in hand if they knock out your Magician of Faith. You just want to see it. I think that's another like really good card in this format.
Do you think as well that if you do get knocked for one Magician of Faith, and then you also have another one in your hand, then it leads your opponent into a false sense of security, if you know what I mean?
Yeah, that too. But like you gotta think about this because you also play like Night Assailant, so it's like it says you have like 4 or 5 Magician of Fates in the deck. That's why I like you resolve like Chaos players usually resolve or like the Trinity cards, even if they get knocked. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, it's a very simple way of looking at it, and yeah, of course, it's worked out for you. I see as well is the 3 Gravekeeper's Spy, and also kind of like a mini Mensch Gravekeeper's Necro Valley side. I have not tried running 3 Gravekeeper Spy in the main deck, but I have noticed a lot that at least once my Gravekeeper Spy is not going to go off. Is that the rationale?
The thing is, I think it's a really good card. So, like, I think I was watching one of your like streams, and that Mad Dog I was talking about. I think it was just he said it was just like a useless like defense monster. Like, the thing is, it does so much for you, like the card. Like, even if you draw 2, like, it's still solid. You have your Book of Moonplays to make it like to get out the 3rd one, and like it pushes your plays better, in my opinion. I've talked to a lot of people too, and they said 2 is also like the right number, but like I don't know, preference. It's like it all comes down to preference at the end of the day. I like 3.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I'm gonna try out in the future now that you've succeeded with it.
Any thoughts on running Gravekeeper's Guard to make the spy that like the 3rd spy be able to resolve?
The thing is, like I look at, like I don't think it's a good card to draw. That's why I wouldn't want to play it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you would always want to draw like a Gravekeeper Spy. Like even drawing, if you like resolve the spy and draw into like the 3rd one, 2,000 defense is really big. Like if you can just sit on like spy and just draw all your power cards, that's what the deck is. Like you're essentially just trying to stall out until you can draw your Sorks, your BLS.
Mm-hmm.
You just gotta wall up. So like having the wall like makes the whole deck better.
Right.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, of course, you get to see the spy more frequently as well.
Yes, I think that's like the most important. Like you usually want to open the spy. Like it's like it puts you ahead, and it's really hard to get rid of. Like even if you play against the mirror match, like if you're playing the mirror match, they have to drop this like Chaos Sorcerer like to get rid of it. It's really hard to get around.
If they have like metas, they have to use Thousand Eyes to summon it, and that's
correct.
not ideal for them.
Yeah, like they have to use their power cards just to out it. Then like you don't really have to do any work because you're just setting it at the end of the day.
Yep.
But like the resources they're wasting just to like out it is what makes it really good. Where you can just like capitalize on what they do.
Would you say that Gravekeeper Spy is another card that you don't mind getting Nobleman as well because it thins out the deck?
Yeah, like that's ideally you don't want that, but if it happens, it happens. Like you deck them by like 3, so it's not that bad.
Yeah, of course. I've noticed now something a lot of players would probably say you're crazy for is running only 1 Solemn Judgment in the main deck.
This is like the first time I've tried that out. It was more for my side deck than my main deck because I sided into like the Gravekeeper for the mirror match. Like I couldn't fit it in my side deck, so like I just put the random one. Like I don't mind playing 1. Like it protects you from your cards. Like it should like make your Ring of Destruction live. Like if you play like 3 Solemns, like you put yourself in a weird spot with Ring sometimes. So like I didn't mind just having the 1 random Ring. 1 random Solemn.
Well, did you find that it worked out for you, or is this something you're not going to do in the future? Do you reckon?
It worked out today. I don't know if I'm going to do it in the future, but yeah, it was good today.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't ask you for the future in case you don't want to reveal your secret source for worlds or anything like that.
And not a problem.
What other cards would you say have helped you out the most today?
Well, I got to give a big shout out to my friend like IMZ, because he's the one who convinced me how to like. You notice my deck. I don't play a lot of the staples like in the main deck, so I don't main Torrential, I don't main Mirror Force or Snatch or even Breaker. Yeah, it was.
Wow, yeah, no, I hadn't actually properly looked at it until now, but yeah, there's a lot of staples missing, like, yeah, as you say, Snatch and all this kind of thing. Although, having said that, I've seen a lot of players cut Breaker recently, simply because it's too difficult to plus off of it. You don't. Whatever Breaker hits is usually a chainable.
Yeah, I guess that's like the theory behind it. I guess most things are chainable now. You're not really hitting anything really good. That's why I chose not to main like the staples, because I want their breakers, their heavy storms to be dead, and yeah, that's like the idea of it. And I find like they're not necessary. Like Snatch is probably the only one I like out of all the staples. But even then, like half the time, it's just in your hand. You're not really doing much with it.
Do you think that if people know that you're not playing Torrential or Mirror Force, that they might be more aggressive versus you? Like they might just summon multiple monsters and try to get you, or does that not really come up for you at all?
That has not come up for me. Yeah, like if you're playing against the aggro match, like I think this deck just has like an advantage over it. That like Mirror Force isn't needed.
Yeah.
Like you're playing 3 spies, you're playing the tomatoes, then I typically usually side into like Messenger and Decree, but like I didn't have in this build, but like that's what I would side into. And like it's not needed like half the time.
Was there any particular matchup today where you thought, oh my god, I could genuinely quite lose this? I fear this person.
My first round matchup wasn't that great. It didn't look great. It was against Geist.
All
I
right.
lost in like game 1, then I drew pretty well game 2 and 3. And I think LeBounty was another one I almost lost to. Those were the 2 games I almost lost today.
Yeah, those two stand out as your best opponents, it seems.
For the rest, it was pretty. I guess you just draw well and hope for the best.
What is your mindset when you played a mirror match?
In the mirror match?
Yeah. With Chaos being the meta now, you probably, and you not playing a staples, probably to prepare for the mirror match.
Honestly, the mirror match, I think I saw somewhere where Smoker said it. Like, I think you just got to draw better than your opponent. Someone mentioned it. Like, you just got to play well, but like at the end of the day, you just got to draw. You just got to draw better.
Yeah. Well,
what discard trap was better for you, Raigeki Break or Phoenix Wing Wind Blast?
Personally, I like both. I think they're equal.
About the same.
Yeah, they're both the same. I think 4 is for me. I like the 4, like no less, no more. I know most people just stick to 3, but like.
I actually don't have your deck list. Is it 3 Raigeki Break, 3 or 1 Phoenix, or is it 2-2?
It's 3 Raigeki Break, 1 Wing Blast.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I've been doing that for like past 3 events.
Did you ever try 2-2 or?
Yeah, I've tried 5. I've tried 5 and 6, and it's too much at that point. Like sometimes you just don't have enough cards to discard. But I found the balance to be at like 4 from testing.
Gotcha.
Is there anything in your deck list that did not work out and you're considering taking out or switching?
I think like I've built it for you should be able to do something every turn. You don't really brick with the deck. That's why like I don't mean I think the staple is like break your deck. That's why I don't play it. But like if you just play like everything that's usually like 1-for-1 or does something like for the turn, then like you should be drawing consistent throughout.
And is there any consideration for scapegoats, or that's just not your style?
I don't think Scapegoat's a good card. It's a neg. In my eyes, it's just a neg 1.
Strong words.
Yeah, like I don't know. I guess the only way you play goats is if you play the goat control deck. Like I don't think you can just stick Scapegoat randomly in.
No, when did you decide the GK ended?
Sorry?
when did you side in the GK engine?
So I only sided for the mirror match.
Okay.
Makes
Every
sense.
other match, I kept the main deck the way it was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, has anyone got any other questions? We're coming up to around, well, we've gone past 15 minutes.
How did the one jar greed work for you? Did you see enough to make it useful, or was it?
Yeah, it's Jargreed 1 or 2, like it's all fine. Like even if 3 is good too. It just adds consistency to your deck. It just helps you draw better.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes down to preference at the end of the day of how many you want to play.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Awesome. Well, congratulations for winning.
Yeah,
And,
congrats.
Yeah.
I and honestly, I've made this early prediction off screen, but I'm gonna make it publicly now. You are my favorite to win Worlds, as in I reckon you're gonna win the entire thing. So
you just gotta draw a lot of good cards. That's what you gotta do.
yeah, you gotta draw those good cards, and don't make me sound silly by losing on like round 1. But nice one. Thanks everybody. I'll wrap that up there, and we'll interview.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. No, genuinely, thank you for coming on.
Thanks again.